So to make our doll here, we'll need the following materials: Brava worsted weight yarn in cream, Brava worsted weight yarn in Marina, Brava worsted weight yarn in paprika. The exact amounts will be listed in the description box below. You'll need 2 9mm buttons, sewing needle and thread, a stitch marker, scissors, a tapestry needle, 2 green 12mm safety eyes, a 3.5mm crochet hook, and optional, you could use some sewing pins. Let's get started. So to start with our doll, we are going to create one leg from the bottom up and then create our second leg and then attach them together and then work the body up to the head, and then we'll work the arms separately. So we'll need our cream yarn or whatever color you've selected for the main color of your doll, and we will start with creating a magic circle. Okay. And so for round 1, it says to make 6 single crochet stitches into the magic circle, and we'll do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll pull that top. So we're going to start round 2, and we will be placing a single crochet increase or 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. And at the end of the round, we should have 12 crochet stitches, single crochet stitches. So we'll go into our first stitch here. It's always the tricky one, the first one there. So there's 1, and we'll take our stitch marker and place that in the first stitch. We'll be using a stitch marker to mark the first stitch of every round, and we'll be moving that stitch marker up at the start of every round. So this is our second single crochet stitch into the first stitch there, and we'll place 2 in the second stitch. 1, 2, and 2 in the next. 1, 2, and 2 in the next. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 2 more in the last stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so for round 3, we'll be placing a single crochet stitch in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet increase in the next stitch, and we'll repeat that pattern 6 times around our piece here, and we will end with a total of 18 single crochet stitches. So we'll single crochet 1 into the first stitch, making sure to place our stitch marker, and single crochet increase into the next stitch. Okay, so single crochet into the next stitch and single crochet increase into the next stitch. 1, and 2. Single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet increase into the next, single crochet into the next, single crochet increase into the next stitch, single crochet in the next, single crochet increase, single crochet in the next, and single crochet increase into that last stitch of the round. Okay, so for round 4 now, we're going to place 1 single crochet into the first stitch. So there's your first. Move up that stitch marker. Single crochet increase into the next stitch. 1 and 2. Then we're going to place a single crochet stitch into the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet for 2, and then we're going to single crochet increase into the next stitch. 1 and 2 into the same stitch. So we're going to repeat the pattern of 2 single crochets followed by single crochet increase 4 more times. So let's do that around. So 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase. So now you should have 1 stitch remaining in the round, and you'll place a single crochet stitch into that round. So at the end of this round, you should have 24 single crochet stitches. So for rounds 5 and 6, we will be placing a single crochet stitch into each stitch around. You'll have a total of 24 stitches for the next 2 rounds. So we'll place single crochet into that first stitch, move up your stitch marker, and we'll place 1 single crochet stitch into each stitch of the round. And we'll do that for both this round, round 5, and the next round, round 6. So if you would like to pause and do that and come back to me when you're ready to start round 7, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I just finished round 6 and we're preparing to start round 7. So for round 7, we are going to be doing single crochet decrease stitches in the first 12 stitches. So that would actually only be 6 repeats, but it will cover 12 stitches. So when I do my single crochet decreases in Amigurumi, I want those to be as invisible as possible. So I utilize the invisible single crochet decrease technique. And to do that, we would work under the front loops of the 2 stitches that you'll be doing your single crochet decrease. So to do that, we'll place our hook under the front loop of your first stitch, under the front loop of your second stitch, and then we'll pull yarn over and pull through the stitch, and then yarn over and finish that single crochet. And that's your first single crochet decrease. And now we're going to repeat that 5 more times. So again, under the front loops of the next 2 stitches, yarn over through those loops, yarn over and finish the stitch. So that's 2, 3, Okay, so what we're doing here now is we're forming the toes of our doll's foot. That's what we just started here. And now for the rest of the round, we are going to place a single crochet stitch in each of the remaining 12 stitches. So let's do that now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we just finished round 7, and we finished round 7 with 18 single crochet stitches, and we are about to start round 8. So we will do a 3 single crochet decreases followed by 12 single crochet stitches. So again, we're going to do those invisible decreases. So there's under the front loops of the first 2 stitches. There's your first stitch. Always moving up that stitch marker there. Here's 2. And here's our 3rd single crochet decrease. So now we will place 1 single crochet stitch into the next 12 single crochet stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so at the end of round 8, we should have 15 single crochet stitches around. And I like to take this time here to quickly weave this end in from our magic circle to make sure that it definitely isn't going to come undone, so I can hand this over to my daughter and feel safe that it's not going to fall apart on her. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and we're about to start round 9. And so for round 9, we are going to do 3 single crochet decreases followed by 9 single crochet stitches for a total of 12 single crochets in this round. So again, we're working under the front 2 loops to do our invisible decrease. So there's our first stitch. Moving up our stitch marker. And here's our second decrease stitch. Here's our 3rd decrease. And then we're going to finish off by placing a single crochet stitch into the remaining 9 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So as you can see, we've kind of got our foot started here, and we are going to start working into the leg. And so for the next rounds 10 through 24, we are just going to do single crochet stitch in each stitch around, and at the end of each round we'll have 12 single crochets. So I'll do round 10 here with you. Single crochet into the first stitch, always moving up our stitch marker. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there's our round 10. So it's going to start to get harder and harder to get stuffing down into the foot. So we're going to add a little bit of stuffing, and as we're working on our rounds 11 through 24, we're going to have to add stuffing a little bit as we go every few rounds to make sure that we get the stuffing in there evenly and we're not struggling to add the stuffing to the leg, and so her legs just don't look lumpy. So there we've got some stuffing added to the foot. There we go. There's the foot. And I'm going to start doing rounds 11 through 24. If you want to pause your video and come back to me at the end of round 24, we will start on I'll show you how to finish off, and then we'll start on our second leg. So, and just don't forget to start adding some stuffing as you go to the leg every few rounds. Okay, so I just finished round 24, and I have our my stuffing in the leg, and I have 12 single crochet stitches around. So we are going to take another stitch marker, preferably in a different color if you have one. Oops. And then we're going to place this stitch marker in the 10th stitch of this round. So remember our stitch marker is number 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's where we're going to place our stitch marker. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut our yarn, and we're going to pull that through the last stitch. Right? We're just going to finish that off and leave that there like that. So you can remove your first stitch marker and put that leg aside because we're going to start the second leg. And so the second leg is done in the same manner as your first leg, and we're going to start by using a magic circle, and we're going to place 6 single crochet stitches into the magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll pull that taut. And for round 2, we are going to place a single crochet increase into each stitch around, and at the end of round 2 we will have 12 single crochet stitches. So let's work into that first stitch here. First one's always a toughie. Okay. So there's our first single crochet. Mark it with your stitch marker. Place another single crochet stitch into that that stitch, and we'll repeat that in each stitch around. So there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, and 2. Okay, so we should have 12 single crochet stitches at the end of round 2. Okay, so we just finished round 2 and we have 12 single crochet stitches, and then we're going to do round 3 by placing 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Remembering to move up our stitch marker, and single crochet increase in the next stitch. And we'll repeat that pattern of 1 single crochet in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet increase in the next stitch 5 more times. So here's our increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single, increase, single, increase. And at the end of this round you should have 18 single crochet stitches. Okay, so moving on to round 4, we're going to place a single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet increase into the next stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2, followed by single crochet increase in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat the pattern of 2 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase 4 more times. So here's 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, and then we have 1 more stitch remaining, and into that stitch we will place 1 single crochet stitch. At the end of this round you should have 24 stitches. So for rounds 5 and 6 we are going to place a single crochet stitch into each stitch around. At the end of both rounds 5 and 6 you will have 24 single crochet stitches. So if you want to start working those 2 rounds of single crochet stitches, you can pause your video and come back to me when you're ready for round 7. Okay, so we just finished round 6 and we are ready to start round 7. So for round 7, we are going to single crochet decrease 6 times at the beginning of this round. So again, when we do our single crochet decreases, we're working under the front loops only of the stitches that you're decreasing across. So under the front 2 loops here to do our first decrease. As 1, under the front loops of the next 2 stitches, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we're going to place a single crochet stitch into each of the remaining 12 stitches around. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so at the end of this round you should have 18 stitches, and we're going to move on to round 8. So for round 8 we are going to do 3 single crochet decrease stitches to start. Sorry. So again, working under those front loops only. There's our first decrease. Here's our second decrease, and there's our third decrease. So we will be working a single crochet stitch into the remaining 12 stitches around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so there's our 12 stitches, and at the end of that round you should have 15 stitches. So for round 9 we are going to do 3 single crochet decreases, again working those into the front loops only of the stitches to do an invisible decrease. There's 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to place a single crochet stitch into each of the remaining 9 stitches around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so that is the end of our closing our foot, and you should have 12 single crochet stitches in your round. So for rounds 10 through 24, we're just going to place 1 single crochet stitch into each stitch around. So you're just going to single crochet around for each round, rounds 10 through 24. So don't forget to stuff your foot and your leg as you go, so you don't get any sort of weak spots or overstuffed spots that will make the legs look lumpy. Pause the video and come back to me when you are done round 24. Do not finish off when you're done. Leave your yarn attached and come back to me and I will show you how we will connect the legs and start working on the body. Okay, so pause your video and come back to me when you're done round 24. Okay, so I just finished the last round 24 of my second leg, and my working yarn is still attached. And when I was doing the first leg, I had accidentally mentioned that the stitch marker should be in the 10th stitch of the round. I apologize. If you could move your stitch marker on your first leg to actually the 3rd stitch of the round. When I did 10, I was counting backwards. So 10 from the end is your 3rd stitch here. So I do apologize about that. So before we get started on building the foundation to build the body onto the legs, if you could just move your stitch marker from leg 1 into the 3rd stitch of that last round, we'll be all set to go. So for this round, this is going to be round 1 of our body if you're following along with the written pattern. And what we're going to do is we're going to work the first round around the second leg, create a gap between the legs, and then join into this first leg, work around, create a small join here, and then finish off the round. And we'll have 2 legs that are connected. And then they will create the foundation on which we'll build the rest of our body and up to the neck and head. So let's get started with that. With our second leg in hand, we are going to place a single crochet stitch into each of the first 8 stitches. So here's our first stitch. Making sure that you have your stitch marker in place for that first stitch of the round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we've got our 8 single crochet stitches, and we are going to chain 1. Okay, we're going to pick up our second leg here. Oops, sorry, this part's a little tricky sometimes. And we're going to place a single crochet into the 3rd stitch here where we have our stitch marker. Okay, so I'll try to keep that visible. Okay, so there's our single crochet stitch, and we can remove that marker from the first leg. And we're going to continue to work around the leg. So we've got our first stitch here, and then we are going to do 11 more single crochet stitches around this leg. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you just pulled your yarn through on the last stitch there, this might be a little tricky, so hold that yarn down. There's your 9th stitch into that stitch, your 9th single crochet, and then I like to just crochet over this tail to help it be secure. So there's 9. Sorry, this part's a little finicky. 10, and here is our 11th stitch. Okay, so then after we've done our 11 single crochets, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to continue. See if I can get you to see this a little better. We're going to continue our round in the stitch here that is next to the last stitch we did on our leg, essentially our second leg. So we're going to single crochet here in this next stitch, and this will join the 2 legs together. on both sides. So that's they're crocheted together now on both sides, and then that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to do that 1 single crochet to join the legs, and then 3 more for a total of 4 single crochets on this side. So when you look at I'm just going to tuck this tail into the leg. That can be extra stuffing now so we can see better. So you can see our legs are joined here like so, and we will address the little gap there. You can actually, if you'd like, pull this tail through, and you can use that to seam up that hole if it will be a problem for you. And I'm actually going to do that. And then for the end of round 1 of the body, you should have 26 single crochet stitches. And so I'll just count that quickly to make sure our count is right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And your chain stitches do count as stitches when you are counting your round. So for round 2 of our body, we are going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around the body. So we're going to move that stitch marker, and we're going to place our first single crochet. And we're going to single crochet all the way around. Now you might find the single crochet into your chain stitch a little tricky, and I'll show you what I do if I get stuck here. So this stitch, this can be a little tricky. Worst case scenario, you can just, like I did here, it might be hard to see because of the color of the yarn, you can just single crochet around the chain if you are really struggling to get that hook in there. Because I've left this tail here, I can clean that up a little bit at the end when I'm sewing the hole shut. Okay, so we're continuing to single crochet around the other leg here. We're approaching our chain stitch. See, so I really couldn't get that hook in there because I did my chain too tight, so I just went around the chain. Again, not a big deal. As long as you're making sure you have the correct amount of stitches, you can fix it up. Okay, and there we go. So that's round 2 of our body, and we are going to move on to round 3. Okay, so we are going to do round 3 of the body. And to do that, we're going to place a single crochet stitch in each of the first 7 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to single crochet increase in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet increase in the next stitch. And then we are going to single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we are going to single crochet increase in the next stitch. Then we are going to place a single crochet in each of the remaining 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So at the end of this round, you should have 29 stitches, and I'll just count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Okay, so we are on track. Every few rows, we will be adding some stuffing into the legs and the body. I will do mine at the absolute last opportunity that I can in order to make sure that it's clear for you to see what I'm doing. But feel free to add stuffing as often as you feel comfortable. So for round 4 of the body, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. And at the end of this round, we will have 29 single crochet stitches. Okay, so that's the end of round 4 of the body, and we should have 29 stitches at the end of that round. And we are going to move on to round 5 of the body now. Okay, so we are about to start round 5, and we are going to place a single crochet stitch into each of the first 7 stitches. So there is our first stitch. Moving up our stitch marker, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We are going to single crochet increase into the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, goodness, 2, single crochet increase in the next stitch, single crochet 2, 1, 2, single crochet increase, 1 and 2, and then we're going to single crochet in the remaining 15 stitches of the round. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we should have 32 stitches at the end of our round. So for rounds 6 through 9, we are going to place a single crochet stitch in each of the stitches around. At the end of all of our rounds, we should have 32 stitches. So if you would like to pause your video and come back to me after you've done rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9 in all single crochet around, we will get started on round 10 when you get back. Okay, so I just finished round 9, and that's all of our single crochet rounds, and we're going to be starting round 10 now. So we will single crochet in the first 4 stitches of the round. So here's the first stitch, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease, again using that invisible decrease technique we practiced in the foot. Then single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Single crochet decrease, and single crochet 6. 1, oops, sorry, dropped my loop there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Single crochet decrease, single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet decrease, and single crochet in the final 2 stitches of the round. So at the end of round 10, you should have 28 stitches. Now I'm just going to take a moment here to add some stuffing before it gets too far. I'm wanting to make sure that I get sufficient stuffing at those leg joints here to give it some more stability. Don't want it to be a weak point. And one of the most common questions that I get about amigurumi is, how do you know if you've added enough stuffing? Which is sometimes a little tricky to answer because it really depends on the person's preferences. But for me, when I'm stuffing the doll, I like it to be firm. I want it to have a little bit of give, not much, because that stuffing will break down over time. I like to just add what some people would consider a little too much stuffing at first, but you have to take care not to stretch your stitches. So it's kind of a fine line, and I've seen a guideline before that I found a little helpful, is that you want it to almost feel like a firm orange. So if you are stuffing and it feels like, I don't know, what's a mushy fruit? I'm not sure. If it just feels like there's too much give, don't hesitate to add that little bit of extra stuffing. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer just because I'm leaving it to the last second to keep the visibility for you guys. All right, so I think that's good for now, and I'll add some more in a little bit. Okay, but as you can see, like when I press on it, and I'm not getting too much give in it. Okay, so we are going to move on to round 11, which is just placing a single crochet into each stitch around, and you will at the end of the round have 28 stitches. Okay, so there's our first stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Okay, so that's the end of round 11. And we are moving on to round 12. So for round 12, we are going to single crochet in the first 11 stitches. So there's our first single crochet, always moving up our stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, then we're going to single crochet decrease, remembering to work only under those front loops. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 15 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so at the end of that round, you should have 27 single crochet stitches. So moving on to round 13, we will single crochet in the first 4 stitches. So there is our first stitch, 2, 3, 4. We will single crochet decrease in the next stitch, or across the next 2 stitches, I should say. And single crochet in the next 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we will single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in the remaining 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So we should have 25 stitches at the end of round 13. And for round 14, we will just place 1 single crochet stitch into each stitch of the round. At the end of the round, we'll have 25 stitches. And again, we're just going to place 1 single crochet into each stitch round. Okay, and we just finished round 14 of the body, and we have 25 single crochet stitches. And so now we are going to start round 15, and we will place a single crochet stitch into each of the first 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll single crochet decrease, and now we will single crochet 11, so we'll single crochet in the next 11 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and now we will single crochet decrease, and we will single crochet in each of the remaining 6 stitches. 4, 5, 6. There you go. So we just finished round 15, and we're just going to count our stitches to make sure that we are at 23 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I just like to check my counts every once in a while to make sure that I haven't missed anything, especially when I'm recording here and I'm using such a light colored yarn under the bright lights. Sometimes it's easy to miss one, so I'm sorry if the counting is a little obnoxious, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So we are about to start round 16, and to start round 16, we are going to place a single crochet into each of the first 4 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will single crochet decrease. Then we will single crochet in the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we will single crochet decrease. And we'll single crochet in the remaining 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, at the end of round 16, you should have 21 stitches. And we are starting round 17. So we will single crochet in the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet decrease. Single crochet in the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we will single crochet decrease. And single crochet in the remaining 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so at the end of that round, we should have 19 stitches. So this is our body so far, and I'm just going to take a moment, because we're going to continue to decrease a bit every round, to add some stuffing here. And if you are adding stuffing as well right now, don't hesitate to get right down in there, all the way down to the legs, because it'll help define her little hips there as well. If you're finding that your stuffing is becoming a little bit lumpy, you can use your hand to kind of help move it around. See, I can feel that there's a little spot here. There's a gap in the stuffing, so I can kind of just move the stuffing in there and then kind of just move it around with my hands. All right, so that looks good to me. And we are ready to move on to the next round. Just going to double check my count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we are starting round 18. And we are going to start by single crocheting in the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, single crochet decrease, single crochet in the next 8 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we will single crochet decrease again. And we will single crochet in the remaining 4 stitches. 1, 2, oops, 3, and 4. At the end of that round, you should have 17 single crochet stitches. So we are going to move on to round 19. And for round 19, we will begin by single crocheting into the first 3 stitches. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, and then we'll single crochet decrease. We'll single crochet in the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in the last 3 stitches. 2, 3, and at the end of round 19 you should have 15 single crochet stitches. Okay, so we just finished round 19 and we have 15 stitches at the end of that round, and we're going to start round 20, and we are going to single crochet in the first 2 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and then we're going to single crochet decrease. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Then we're going to single crochet decrease. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Then we'll single crochet decrease again. And then we'll single crochet in the remaining 2 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 12 stitches. Okay. Now don't forget to add stuffing as you go. I will add mine when I absolutely have to. So we're going to be doing round 21, and for round 21 we're just going to place a single crochet into each stitch around. Okay, so that's the end of round 21, and this is the top of the neck, and we are going to start increasing now to create our head. So I'm going to do round 22, and then I'll add some stuffing. So for round 22, we are going to single crochet in the first stitch and single crochet increase in the second stitch. And we are going to repeat this pattern 6 times around. So in the next stitch, we'll single crochet increase in the next stitch. So that's 2 repeats, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet increase in the next stitch. There's 3, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet increase in the next, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet increase, single crochet, and single crochet increase for your last and 6th repeat. So at the end of that round, you should have 18 single crochet stitches. So I'm just going to take a moment here to add some stuffing. Okay. So we're going to start round 23, and in round 23 we will single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet increase in the next stitch, and we'll place a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and we'll increase in the next stitch. Okay, and we will do the pattern of 2 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase until there is 1 stitch remaining in the round. So here's 1, 2, and our increase here, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet increase, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet increase. Okay, our last time, 1, 2, increase, and in that last remaining stitch of the round we'll place a single crochet, and at the end of that round you should have 24 stitches. So now we're on round 24, and we will place a single crochet in the first 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we will single crochet increase in the next stitch. And now we will do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet increase in the next stitch. And we will repeat this pattern of 3 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase until the end of the round. So here's 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase. Okay, so at the end of round 24 you should have 30 single crochet stitches around, and we are going to start round 25. And to start round 25 we're going to place a single crochet stitch in the first 2 stitches. So here's 1, move out my stitch marker, round 2, and we're going to single crochet increase in the next stitch. So here's 2, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches, so 1 in then each of the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase in the next stitch. And we'll do a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase in the next. And we're going to repeat this pattern of 4 single crochets followed by a crochet increase until there are 2 stitches remaining in the round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, followed by a single crochet in each of the remaining 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Okay, so at the end of round 25 you should have 36 stitches. So for round 26 it's going to be relatively simple. We're just going to place a single crochet stitch in each stitch around, and we will finish the round with 26 single crochets. Okay, so we just finished round 26 and we have 36 stitches in our round. And we'll start round 27 now. And we will place a single crochet in the first 5 stitches. So there's our first stitch. Move up your stitch marker. And there's 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by a single crochet increase. And we will do a single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an increase stitch in the next. And we'll single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an increase in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an increase in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase in the next. Single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an increase in the last stitch. Okay, now at the end of round 27, you should have 42 stitches. So for rounds 28 and 29, we will be doing single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of rounds 28 and 29, you should have 42 stitches. So if you'd like to pause your video and come back to me after you've done 2 rounds of single crochet stitches, we will begin with round 30 when you get back. Okay, so I have finished rounds 28 and 29, and we're about to begin on round 30. And to start round 30, we will place a single crochet stitch in the first round. And we will single crochet increase in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and we will single crochet increase in the next stitch. And we will place a single crochet stitch in each of the next 6 stitches. Four, 5, and 6, and we will single crochet increase in the next stitch. And we will place a single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. And single crochet increase in the next. And we're going to repeat that pattern of 6 single crochet stitches followed by a increase stitch until there are 3 unworked stitches remaining in the row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and increase. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and increase. And in the remaining 3 unworked stitches, we are placing a single crochet stitch in each of those stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of round 30, you should have 48 single crochet stitches. So for rounds 31 and 32, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. So if you'd like to pause your video and come back to me when you are ready to begin round 33, I would do that now. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I finished rounds 31 and 32, and we're about to start round 33. And to start off, we're going to place a single crochet stitch in each of the first 3 stitches. And we will do a single crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches here. All right, so there's our decrease, and then we will do 6 single crochet stitches in the next 6 stitches. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we will decrease in the next stitch here, and we'll do 6 single crochet stitches next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. And 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. And 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. And 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and decrease. You should have 3 unworked stitches remaining in this round, and you will place a single crochet stitch in each of those 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of round 30, you should have 42 stitches. So once again, at the end of round 33, we should have 42 stitches. So this is the round that we are going to place our stitches in. So what I like to do is just to place a stitch marker in that round. You can place them where you would like the eyes in each stitch, or I like to just put it in the rounds until I can work enough stitches up so that way I can place my eyes in where I'd like them before I close them up. So for rounds 34 and 35, we're going to place a single crochet stitch in each stitch around, and we will finish rounds 34 and 35 with 42 stitches. So if you want to pause your video and come back to me when you're ready for round 36, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I just finished round 35. I have 42 stitches around, and I'm about to start round 36. So to start 36, we will be placing a single crochet stitch in each of the first 5 stitches. Two, 3, 4, 5, and we will decrease next. And we will single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a decrease, followed by 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by a decrease, followed by 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by a decrease, followed by 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by a decrease, and 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and ending with a single crochet decrease. Okay, so at the end of round 36, you should have 36 single crochet stitches. So I'm just going to take this moment here because I believe that I should be capable of getting my safety eyes into the doll without there being any problems. So I'm using these green safety eyes. Unfortunately, I could not find the remainder of these absolutely gorgeous safety eyes that I got from Chateau Bornée Crochet on Etsy. Absolutely beautiful green glitter eyes, which I just really love. So I'm having to substitute these flat green eyes today. So we're going to place our safety eyes in round 33 with 7 stitches in between them. So if you recall, I've got my marker here to mark around 33. I want to make sure that my doll's feet are pointed towards me here. And then I'll just use this as a center mark for her eyes. And we'll just kind of figure out where the placement is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we put the eye in the 8th stitch. And we'll just take a look here and see how that looks. Yep, I think that actually looks like pretty good placement. It's always hard to tell when you don't have the stuffing in, but based on the feet, you know what, I'm going to move them each over to the left one more stitch. Still maintaining that I have 7 stitches in between. I'm just going to move them both over to the left. I think after holding it up straight and looking at it, those line up better with the legs, I think. I'm going to take this stitch marker out because I think it will help me see it a little better. Yep, those look good. Okay. So we've got them in there. I'm going to add the safety eyes to the back here. There we go. All right, there we are. So we are going to start round 37, and for round 37 it's just a single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of round 37 we will have 36 single crochet stitches. So we just finished round 37 and we're going to start round 38. And to start, we will place a single crochet stitch in the first 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2. And we will now do a single crochet decrease. Followed by 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by a decrease. And we're going to repeat that pattern of 4 single crochet stitches followed by a single crochet decrease until there are 2 unworked stitches remaining. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 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 and we will single crochet in each of the last 2 remaining stitches, 1 and 2. And so at the end of round 38, we should have 30 single crochet stitches around. So I'm going to take this opportunity to add some of the stuffing because I want to be able to get down into the neck area before we continue to decrease. Now, if you find that the head becomes floppy, I know that some people add little dowels into the body of their dolls to give the head some support. I like to just add additional stuffing into the head and the neck for support. If you are strategic in how you add your stuffing and you do so firmly throughout the doll, the stuffing should be sufficient to hold up the doll's head. So because we're going to continue to decrease and I want you to see the stitches, I'm not going to add too much stuffing. If you find that your fingers are too large to get into the neck, you can always use a pencil, the end of a crochet hook. I personally like to use the pencil because I find that if it has the rubber eraser on the end, it can add a little bit of grip to push that stuffing through. Okay. Kind of looks funny with all the stuffing hanging out of her head right now. But so we've got some stuffing in here. It's a good start. And I will finish stuffing that in a minute after we've done a few more decreases. So we are now going to do round 39, and we will start by placing a single crochet in the first 3 stitches of the round. So there's 1, 2, 3, followed by a decrease. And we'll single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, followed by a decrease. And we're going to do that pattern around of 3 single crochets followed by a decrease all the way around. Oh, I lost my count there. So there's 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease. So at the end of round 39, you should have 24 stitches. And we're moving on to round 40. So to start round 40, we will place a single crochet stitch in the first stitch. Oops. It'd help if I didn't drop my stitch. Okay, so here's the first single crochet. Still moving up that stitch marker every round. And we're going to single crochet decrease in the next, over the next 2 stitches here. Okay, and then we will do a single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, followed by a single crochet decrease, followed by 2 single crochets, 1, 2, followed by a decrease. And we are going to do that pattern of 2 single crochets followed by a single crochet decrease until there is 1 stitch unworked. Okay, so we are at our last unworked stitch, and we're just going to place 1 single crochet into that last stitch. So at the end of round 40, you should have 18 single crochet stitches. If you'd like to take some time to add some stuffing, this would be a good opportunity to do so before the last 2 rounds, which will decrease and close our doll's head. So again, when we're stuffing, we want to take care that we are stuffing firmly and evenly, but without stretching those stitches. Okay, so we're going to start round 41 now. And to do that, we are going to place a single crochet stitch in the first stitch. We're going to do a decrease over the next stitches. And we will single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a single crochet decrease, single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around to the end of the round. So single crochet followed by single crochet decrease. I like to take this round a little this round and the next round a little slower, just to be careful not to pull my stitches too much as I'm decreasing. Because I personally find that when I'm rushing, and because of the stuffing, I can tend to pull my stitches, and that's not what I want. I want to keep them in good shape without any gaps in my stitching. So, okay, and there's our last decrease here. Okay, and at the end of round 41, you should have 12 single crochet stitches remaining. So I'm just going to take a moment here, just assess my stuffing, and I can feel that there's a spot here in the front that I could use some more. Find if you massage the stuffing around, it's a little easier to find those little gaps where you haven't stuffed sufficiently. Okay, so we're going to do round 42 of our doll. This will be the last round of the body. Oh, sorry, my stitch marker got stuffed in there a little bit. So I'm going to try to make this easier to see, but it's kind of hard with the legs. But for each, we're going to do a single crochet decrease 6 times in this round. So here's our first decrease. And decrease again. Okay, there's 2. Decrease again. That's 3. Decrease again. That's 4. There we go. Decrease again. That's 5. And decrease again. That's 6. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off leaving a tail and pull that yarn all the way through that stitch. And this is where we're going to need our tapestry needle. Thread that onto the end. I'm going to try and show you here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called an invisible finish. And we're going to take our tail and we're going to weave it through the front loops only of each stitch of the last round. Okay, that's our last one. And then we're going to pull that shut and it will help close it up nicely. But you might still have this little, see if I can show it to you, little tiny bump. And I'll show you how I deal with that. You're going to take the tip of your tapestry needle, put it through the center of the last round, find another stitch somewhere that you can comfortably place your needle through, pull it through, and give that a little tug. And there, voila, got a nice flat finish. Now I want, if you see that you've stuffed your head in kind of a weird way, but the head is stuffed a little extra here, just use your hands and manipulate the stuffing around, and it should help give your head a better shape. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll weave in my ends. Okay, so the last thing is we've got this little string here, and from the way that we attached her legs, she has this little hole where the stuffing can show through. So we just, again, using our tapestry needle, we're going to just stitch up that hole. I just like to use a whip stitch because it's quick and easy, and to sew this up. Just be careful with how far you're pulling this, because you don't want to pull your stitches. Okay, and there you have it. It's all closed up now. And then I will just weave in my ends. If you haven't done amigurumi before, or if you're unsure about how to weave in your ends, I'll show you again how I like to do that. I like to do a single or sometimes a double knot, as I've done in this case, and feed the yarn back through the project, going through the hole in the stitch and out another part of the body, pulling that knot inside the body, and it'll get stuck in that stuffing. And I like to do that sometimes 2-3 times until I feel confident that those ends aren't going to come out. And there you go. There is her body.